Not every flower plant is edible. In fact, sampling some flowers can make you very, very sick. You also should never use pesticides or other chemicals on any part of any plant that produces blossoms you plan to eat.
Edible flowers can be used to add a splash of color to all kinds of foods, from salads to desserts to fancy cocktails. Edible flowers are always best when picked early in the morning before they've had too much sun. Here is a list of 20 popular edible blooms.
ALTHAEA. It stands 3 to 4 feet high with a branched stem. Along the upper stalk, beautiful flowers appear. The flowers have 5 heart-shaped petals that range in many colors, from white to pink or mauve. These flowers appear in late summer from July to September. The flowers and young leaves can be eaten, and are often added to salads or are boiled and fried. The plant has a lovely sweet flavor. The root extract is sometimes used as flavoring in snacks.
Anise hyssop. Deliciously aromatic with a sweet, licorice mint flavor, anise hyssop is a popular bedding plant with edible flowers and leaves. Its anise-scented foliage and purple flowers can be used for tea, culinary seasoning, and bouquets. Native Americans used it medicinally for coughs, fever, and wounds.
Apple blossoms. Both the flowers and leaves on an apple tree are edible in small quantities and are high in antioxidants and minerals. Dried apple blossoms can be steeped to make teas, aged in vodka, flavor jellies, or used fresh as a garnish. Apple blossoms are edible with a sour and slightly sweet flavor. Candied apple blossoms make an enchanting dessert garnish, but they also pair well with seafood, especially scallops, rich meats, and cocktails.
Arugula. The young leaves are peppery and crisp, and the flowers, seeds, and oil are all edible. It's a cool weather green that provides a plentiful harvest with relatively little work. Basically, arugula is tasty, easy to grow and has few pests and diseases that bother it. The white and purple, 4-petaled blossoms flowers taste like the leaves. Wild arugula flowers are also yellow and edible.
All roses are edible, but some taste better than others. Pick rose leaves when they're young for best flavor. Eat only roses that have not been sprayed with insecticide. You can consume the petals, leaves and the fruits, also known as rose hips, in a variety of ways, from rose hip tea and grilled rose petals, to roasted rose stems. Rose petals are edible and are made into delicacies by cultures around the world.
Bachelor's button is also an edible flower that makes a tasty and attractive fresh garnish for cold salads. This gorgeous mix of bachelor buttons can come in ranges of hues in the pink, blue, maroon family, with each of them offering up a very mild flavor of cucumber, raw green bean. Bachelor's button flowers are best used fresh for culinary purposes, although they are often cut and dried for decorative bouquets. The blossoms add a dash of color to salads and also can be dried and used in tea blends.
Banana blossoms. The tender, purplish-blue edible flower is popular in the culinary traditions of Southeast Asian countries and comes from the same plant that produces bananas. They're commonly used in salads, curries, and soups. It does not, however, taste like bananas. Banana blossoms are soft with just a bit of crunch. All these female banana blossoms will eventually turn into fruit. The first several rows to be exposed are female flowers that develop into hands or tiers of bananas, typically with 12 to 20 bananas making up a hand.
Bee balm doesn't just feed the birds and the bees. It's a potent medicinal and a tasty edible too. As part of the mint family, the leaves and blooms have a minty taste and a pleasing citrusy aroma. The flowers make an attractive edible garnish in salads. Fresh or dried flowers and/or leaves can be brewed into an aromatic tea. This fragrant tea can help relieve sore throats and digestive issues. Bee balm herb is noted for its fragrance, and is a source of oil of thyme.
Black locust. The flowers are aromatic. They are cooked and eaten for the treatment of eye ailments. The whole point of eating them is the scent, a sort of mix between jasmine and fresh pea. This is only detectable when the flower is just opening, so you need to catch them at the beginning of their season. The fragrant flowers are used in making jams and pancakes. They can also be made into a pleasant drink.
Borage is an herb with edible leaves and flowers that's known for its medicinal properties. It's widely available as an oil, soft gel, or herbal tea. The edible flower has become a fine dining favorite. It has a mild cucumber-like flavor. They are frequently used as a garnish for iced teas, lemonades, and other cold summer beverages. Borage is a fast-growing herb with clusters of starry blue flowers that bees love.
Marigold, also known as calendula, is at the top of the most popular annuals in the garden list. Well known for its healing properties and edible flowers and leaves. The yellow petals are bursting with antioxidant compounds. To prepare calendula for eating, the petals are plucked from the green flower base and can be eaten raw or cooked. Try calendula petals in salads, salsa, and scrambled eggs.
Carnations have a flavor best described as peppery and spicy. The miniature version of carnations, called dianthus, offers a spice reminiscent of clove and nutmeg. Carnations have a lot of culinary applications. They can be steeped in wine, candied, pickled, or used as a syrup base for cocktails. They can be simply washed and dried, then added to a plate as a garnish. The flower is great with rice dishes, salads, or dessert.
Chamomile leaves and flowers are both perfectly safe to eat, as long as it is not sprayed with pesticides or herbicides. Chamomile is an annual wild edible that is easily recognized by its tiny daisy-like flowers. They can be eaten raw, dried, fried, or steamed. Chamomile is popular in teas. Chamomile is considered a safe plant and has been used in many cultures for stomach ailments and as a mild sedative.
Clover may look like a common lawn weed, but it is edible. The clover flowers can also be eaten, either raw or steeped into tea. The flowers for tea can be used fresh or dried for later use. The clover flowers can be dried and then ground into a protein-rich flour. Eating clover can help the lymphatic system in our bodies, cleaning up all its waterways and improving our blood. Packed with vitamins A and C, clovers have a generous amount of fiber, carotene, and protein.
Dandelions are best known as stubborn garden weeds. The nice thing is that 100% of the dandelion plant is edible. The entire plant, including the leaves, stems, flowers, and roots, is edible and nutritious. Dandelions have small blossoms with many tiny, bright yellow petals. To harvest the buds, simply pluck them off the green stem. Try to separate the flower from the green base, which is very bitter.
The plant is a low-growing perennial. English daisy flowers have a yellow disc in the center and are surrounded with delicate petals of white, pink, or even red. The flower buds, petals, and leaves are edible raw. Toss fresh buds and flower petals into salads and soups.
Gladiolus is an attractive edible flower. They have a huge range of colors, some varieties are fragrant and the bloom potential is season-long. Flowers taste similar to lettuce, and make a lovely receptacle for sweet or savory spreads. Gladiolus flowers taste slightly tart, so they're best used for seafood or fruit salad, salsa, dips, or as a dessert. Pick individual flowers, or whole stalks, in the early morning before the sun dries them.
Hibiscus flowers can be eaten raw, pickled, or boiled. They are used to make sweet, iced beverages in India or baked in cakes in China. The flowers have a mild, citrusy taste and can be used to replace tart citrus flavor. Most edible hibiscus plants have multiple edible parts, including the blossoms, fruit also known as calyx, and leaves. The blossoms are big, colorful, and showy, and generally stay open for just a day or two. Hibiscus flowers are traditionally used for tea. The dried flowers of hibiscus are edible and you can add them to a variety of dishes to add color or texture. You may choose to use them as a decorative garnish for desserts or to add a splash of color to a salad. Not all varieties of hibiscus are edible, so ensure you've done your homework.
Many people don't realize that the common garden flower, hollyhock, is completely edible: root, leaves, seeds and blossoms. The flowers comes in white, pink, magenta, lilac and purple. Flowers are also used as dyes. The flowers can be sprinkled on salads or infused in teas. They are good as a healing tea, reducing pain and inflammation.
When we think of honeysuckle, we tend to think about richly colored, fragrant flowers on beautiful vines, which blooms all summer long and perfumes the air with a lovely scent. But did you know that honeysuckle petals are edible and have a lightly sweet flavor? There is no danger in sucking or drinking nectar from honeysuckle flowers. The berries of some species may be toxic only if ingested in large quantities. Honeysuckle blooms and their nectar are not poisonous. If you're ever in the mood to decorate and make your salad or plate look pretty, consider using these flowers. Thank you for watching.